Hi guys, now in this second tutorial we are going to look at how to add any edit utility buttons in edit utility widgets and how to use them, right? So it is not much different than buttons in user widgets, but it has a different button for edit utility widgets. So if you have watched our first tutorial, we have created two widgets. First one is Editor Utility Widgets and the second one is a regular user widget or a widget blueprint for the demonstration purpose. So I am going to delete the user widget one and I am going to keep this Editor Utility Widget. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to run it first. So this is an empty one. So there is nothing here because there is nothing in here as well in the hierarchy. So I am going to add an overlay. So when creating user widgets or when creating edit utility widgets, this is my practice to add a overlay panel at first instead of canvas panel. So I'm not going to use any canvas panels in user widgets. So I don't think, let me check. Yeah, you can also use canvas panels in here. So the thing is canvas panels can have canvas panels allows you to use exact positions for your widgets, but Unreal Engine says that the developers of Unreal Engine says that the canvas panel is a bit expensive. So I'm not going to use any canvas panels here, and I'm always using these overlay panels as the root for any user widgets or edit utility widgets. So I'm going to use this overlay widget and I'm going to rename this as OL, which is the prefix for overlay and that I'm going to use. So this is not a standard one. This is my prefix that I'm going to use. And I'm going to rename this as widget container. So this is the overlay widget and it is the widget container, or it's the root of any other items that we are going to add from palette. So I'm going to search for button next, and you can see that there is this editor utility button, and we have seen that user widgets has a regular button and editor utility widgets has this unique editor utility button specific for them. And it's the difference. It's only there's no difference between these buttons actually, and this is dedicatedly designed for user widgets, not user widgets for edit utility widgets. That's the specialty. So I'm going to put this here, and you can see that there is my button, and if you compile and run, you can see my button is added here. Now you can basically click on this button, and now we are going to see some functionality of it. So I'm going to rename this as editor utility button, which means EUB for the prefix, and I'm going to add the name as test, right? So now this is EUB test, editor utility test button, and I'm going to add a text on it. So I'm going to search text and add the text onto the button. Now select the text and I'm going to add a padding of 8 here, right? And the justification will be the center, and I'm going to use regular typeface font, and also I'm going to put 13.33 for my button text size. So I found that this is the optimal size for any buttons for edit utility widgets. So if you run, you can see that this is the size of the font that I am going to use for regular buttons in editor utility widgets. Now I'm going to select the text and go here, and you can see that there is this visibility option for text, and I'm going to set it as none hit testable. If not, the text will consume some of the mouse clicks, right? So to avoid that, I'm going to set this as none hit testable, so it will not consume any mouse clicks, and which will avoid clicking the actual button, right? So that is why I have set this to none hit testable. Now we have our button label, so I'm going to rename it as txt for text, and eub, not eub, test button label. So that will be my name. So it's good if you can organize and rename these elements properly. So when your project is going to be bigger and bigger, it will be really easy to use these practices to keep the project organized, right? So that is why I am renaming everything, even in this tutorial, right? So now we have our button. Now you can click it, and now you have to add some functionality when you click on that, right? So what if I want to generate random text for this button label when I am going to click this, right? So I can do that. So to do that, when you click on this button, you can see that the events, there are no events, there are no any button events. To enable any button events, you have to set this as a variable, right? If you set this to variable, you can see that within the graph you will see this EUB test button within variables list, right? If not, it's not going to show in here. Now when I convert this into a variable, now I will get these events, click, press, hover and unhover. So I'm going to click on this clicked event, and it will give me an event of the UB test button click. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this text, right? Now if I want to change this text using this button click, I want to set this to a variable as well. If that text is not a variable, I can't change it within the graph, right? So I set this as a variable, and now I'm going to the graph, and you can see that my text is now available within the variables. And now I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to put set text. You can get this set text, or you can get this set text function. These are two nodes, but it does the same thing. So I'm going to use this set text in content, under content, and all right, I got this one. Now I'm going to connect this here, and then I'm going to add a select text for the select node here, right? And for the index, I'm going to get random integer, right? And I'm going to add 4 names, right? Let's put apple, some random names, car, and character, and mango, right? Some random names that I have got into my mind. And since there are 4 options, I am going to set this to 4, not 3. Sorry, not 4, 3, right? Because the integers can be 0, 1, 2, or 3, right? Right. Now we compile, and if we run the widget, now you can see that, right? Now you can see that it is randomizing, right? Great. Now this is a simple button that I have created, and you know that this kind of button can be created within user widgets as well, right? If you want this kind of button for your game, you will be creating a user widget and this button as exactly the same way that I did now. But if you want to change something within the editor, how can I do this? So what if I want to load a level, right? So what is I want to load a different level to edit, right? Now we have this third person level, but if I want to change this to another level using an editor utility widget, how we are going to do that? To preview this, I'm going to create an level. I'm not going to use this level here. Instead of, I'm going to file, new level, and select basic level in here and create one. Now I get this level, and if I save this, I can let's create a new folder called maps, and let's call this my test map or my test level, right? Now I have this my map code, my test level, and let me change the color, right? Now if we if we load back the third person level, and I'm going to create an editor utility widget that can open up my test level using a button, right? Now I'm going to preview this. So I'm going to delete these here, and I'm going to the designer, and I'm going to uncheck this variable for button label, and I'm going to put let's say change level to my my test level, right? Change level to my test level. Okay, now this is my button, so it should change the current level into my test level, right? So now how we can do this? Inside Unreal Engine editor utilities, there are many subsystems that we can use. So basically subsystems are different nodes that you can get, and these nodes have different nodes within them that we can use. So you will understand what that means. So I'm going to right click and search for level editor subsystem, and you can see that get level editor subsystem. So this level editor subsystem means it has some nodes that we can use to manipulate levels, right? So I am going to search load level, and you can see that under editor scripting and level utility there is this node called load level, right? Now you can see that the target is also level editor subsystem, and therefore the target goes to this level editor subsystem node, right? Now we have to give the asset path, And if you hover over, you can see that asset path of the level to be loaded, and they have given an example game my folder slash my asset. So basically this is the package name of the level, right? So what does mean? What does that mean? The package name, how to get our package name of the level. You have to go to here, simply right click the level you want to open up, and you can find this copy package path option, right? And you can see that when you hover over, it shows that copies package path to select add assets to the clipboard, and it shows the same format that asset path requires for that node, right? So I'm going to click on this and go here, and I'm going to set Control V to paste the packaged path. Now it will basically load this level in the Unreal Editor, right? When we click on this test button. Now let's test this one. Now to test the Editor Utility Widget, what you have to do is run this widget, and if you go to the main tab and click on this change level to my test level, it basically changes your level into the my test level, right? Now that's how you can manage your that's one way of managing your levels. You can basically create a level manager or an interface that contains buttons for your main levels that you want to open up quickly, and you can save your time. So this avoids going through every folder that you have in the content browser and finding that folder you have specific maps within it. You basically have buttons for each level that you can open up quickly. Now if you want to, so I'm going to stop this here, and if you want to add another button, I'm going to wrap this up with a vertical box, and I'm going to duplicate this, and it will be my test 2, this will be my test 1, and I'm going to add a padding of 4 to both buttons, right? I can also center these buttons like this. If I set this horizontal and vertical alignments to center of this vertical box, it will set the location into the center. Now if you can see that the buttons are in center, right? Now if I want to change this button label into third person level, right? And I can go to the clicked event, copy the same thing, but now I want to include the package path for the third person level, right? I just right click the third person level, copy package path, and paste this. Now if you compile and run, you can basically change into third person level and my test level like that. So that is that easy, right? So editor utility widgets can be used very effectively for your projects when your project is getting bigger and bigger. When you have many levels, you can use this technique to load levels with a quick tool, right? So this is only one thing. There are a bunch of things that you can do with editor utility widgets, and yeah, let's save them for next tutorials. Thank you guys. Bye. That's all for it.